Hey, there you
What's
are.
what's up? Oh, wait a minute. I've been here the whole time. You were
I
not here.
I was logged in on the wrong account for a moment. My bad.
That's all right. It's all good. I'm playing this
Yeah.
for you, by the way. It's
It's
the
kind of a
Spa-
theme song on Friday.
it's the Spanish version though, because this topic is one of those topics, like we talked a little bit about yesterday, right? I mean,
Yeah, it is.
so let's get to that later. So you've watched this a couple of times. You kind of know how it goes. We spent a little bit of time
Yeah.
talking about you and where you came from, and then I like interspersed some fun story about myself, which we'll see how that goes today. And then we'll talk a little bit about the business and Nug and how you got there and kind of some of your thoughts on chocolate. And then we'll see if I know you guys have had some challenges recently with
Oh boy.
being in Oakland, and if we have some time, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that.
Perfect. Yeah. Sounds good, man.
Dude, you're a popular
So,
cat. All these people like seeing, I love him. What's up, man? How you doing? All this stuff.
well, I've been really welcomed with open arms into the chocolate community, and I'm very happy to be here. I, I I love it. It's awesome. And like I said briefly yesterday, I'm not really a chocolate guy in my background. I am now. I mean, hell, I'm going through 1,500 pounds a day now. But you know, uh, I love it. It's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Hi. Appreciate all the love.
All right, so you're not a chocolate guy originally, but you're a food guy.
Yeah, I'm a food guy for sure.
Where'd that?
Yeah.
How'd that
Okay,
come
well, yeah.
about?
So, yeah, go back to the beginning. Growing up, loved to cook things, mess around with stuff, and had a family friend that was a food stylist that made food for TV and whatnot. Right, not real
Right.
food, but she'd went to Johnson and Wales, and kind of got me on the culinary school thing, and I was going to normal college like kids do, and didn't really know what I wanted to do, and was kind of like, well, I'm kind of going through the motions, and I saw some bunch
Where
of
are you from?
people go
Where
walking.
Where are you from originally? Are you from out west?
Um, I'm out California. Yeah,
Okay.
born and raised California. Went to Chico State. Went to culinary school up there too. Just California kid. Moved around a lot. My dad's job kept us moving a lot, but born and raised California. Few times I left, but always seemed to come back here. But yeah, anyway, so I saw these kids walk by in white snappy coats, and I was like, huh, that's kind of cool. And so I went and checked it out and applied and got in and finished top of my class and got hooked up with a really amazing kind of mentor chef right off the bat that helped me out. And I
Where'd you
got
go
a
to
wild
school?
hair. It was called the BCC. It was the school at Chico State. It was called the Butte Culinary Academy. It followed all the Cordon Bleu stuff. We had an amazing master chef, Michael Isles, there. He was incredible. He had since went over and left, took over Sierra Nevada's program, and now is doing a bunch of stuff up in Oregon. Yeah, Chef Isles was amazing to me. Another shout out to Chef Jeff Anderson, who I interned under. He became the executive chef for Safeway nationwide. He's pretty much a badass. Loved him.
Small little
Um,
company.
yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. But he's the one that told me that, made me believe that you can take the quality and the artisan and the love that we put in every plate that you're putting out at a restaurant and make it on a big scale. It's hard.
Right.
And I do that at Nug on a daily basis because, I never thought I'd ever be making 10,000 of anything at one time, and now that's just a daily basis here. We love the gear we got from you guys, that 275 mold loader, man. It runs.
Cool. Well, I interrupted your story though. So like you
That's
finished
okay.
school. Where is
Finished
Chico State? Like
school.
my California geography, I know where LA is and I know where San
Mhm.
Francisco is, and then the rest of it's California in my head.
Yeah, okay. So if you go north and then a little east, kind of right in the middle of the state, Chico, north of Sacramento.
I know where Sacramento is too, because I've been to Sacramento.
Okay, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Sacramento. Hotter than hell. Gorgeous
Rice
women.
country.
Rice country, exactly. I did a lot of work there for Lundberg Farms and a lot of the
I
rice growers.
I've been to Lumberg Farms. I've taken the big
Okay,
Lumberg
perfect. So
Farms
do you know
tour.
Homer?
I've seen
Yeah,
rice patties. I've seen like rice
yeah.
cakes. Lots of rice
Funny,
cakes.
yeah. It's a funny story about rice. So I got hired to do a catering job. They brought in the Chinese delegation to inspect American rice. And a funny fact is China would consume the entire United States rice production in 12 days. Yeah, China eats a lot of rice. So, but they wanted to sell rice. So they came in and The American rice farmers put on a show. It was hilarious. They were flying in on their own helicopters. The parking lot looked like a brand new Ford and Chevy dealership. I mean, these guys flexed. Two of them showed up in their brand new master humongous combines, just drove a combine down the road. No big deal. I mean, it's just, you got to love the rice farmers. I love those guys. But anyway, cut story short, I'm sitting here with a giant grill. I've got 60 ribeyes going at one time. So I'm working it, right? We're all different temps. Like, I'm flying. And the Chinese interpreter lady comes up and goes, "Oh my God, so much food. We'll never eat it all." I'm like, "Welcome to America." and so we had a big giggle and we hit it off, and it was fun. I got in with the rice farmers out there, and it was a good gig. And then the restaurant that I owned at the time kind of ran its course. We got hit by the 2008 crash. We were a fine dining, high-end place, where, it was appetizers, entrees, desserts, couple of cocktails. We had a big ticket at the end. When people stopped buying all the extra stuff, it kind of went by the wayside. So then I got the opportunity to go overseas. Never hurts to have international chef on your resume. So I got the opportunity to go to New Zealand for 2 years, which was pretty cool. Not a rough place to have to go, and teach them how to do American barbecue and pizzas and, simple stuff, but fun. And, it was a great experience. I got to see part of the world that I don't know if I would have seen that intimately. And
hobbits. You got to see a lot of hobbits.
Yeah.
Lots of little hobbit hubs.
Yeah, they are big. They are big on the hobbits. Yeah, they have a whole hobbit town. Literally on the side of the Air New Zealand airplanes, it says, like, Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. Yeah, and it looks like it's cool. It does really look like that. So I was in New Zealand. I was doing that. I was grinding. I was making a lot of money. It was great. And I looked at my wife, though, and I said, I'm just, it's fun, but I'm kind of over this. Like, and we did, like I said, we did okay. So we came back home. We had some family issues, had some deaths and sickness and stuff. So we came out, kind of got everybody straight, and then sort of reassessed what we want to do, where we want to be. And we took a road trip, and we drove all the way across the country, just trying different kinds of food, just seeing what's out there. Because, I'd flown across the country back and forth a lot, but I'd never really driven and seen, like, the intimate of America, and see a lot of the really beautiful people that are in the small towns and stuff. So, drove around doing that, and we looked at Charlotte, some in the Midwest, but, we're both California kids, wanted to be by the water, blah, blah, blah. So threw my name out there, and I was like, I got hired by 3 different companies in 2 days. So I got hired by the Mina Group, which is they do own a bunch of fine restaurants. Michael Mina, amazing chef, would have been an honor to work for him. But at the same time, I got hired by a company that did food catering for tech, Google, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, neat. And you don't have to work weekends. I can get into that. Yeah, right? First time in my life.
Michael Mina would have made you work weekends. Probably nights.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, probably nights. Like holidays, Christmas.
Yeah, I didn't know what any of that meant, being a chef for so long. I don't know what a Friday or Saturday. I mean, Saturday was just the night you tried to not get too screwed up because you knew you had to wake up and cook brunch on Sunday, Like,
yeah, that's one of my lines. Like, whoever wrote the song "Easy Like Sunday Morning" clearly did not work in the restaurant business or manage other people that worked in the restaurant business, because there's nothing easy about a Sunday morning.
No.
In the culinary food service world.
You flipped 3 times. You did like 700 covers on Saturday night. Everything's out. Your mise is done. No prep. You're screwed. And then you got to prep a whole new menu for Sunday. And of
waffles.
Course, and yeah,
and waffles. And somebody make waffles. Okay, who made the waffles? I worked for the Ritz for a while, and inevitably you're walking down for service on Sunday brunch, and somebody's like, "Hey, did anybody make the crepe batter?" Like, "Oh, yes, there's no crepes." Like,
yeah. I mean, I've made hollandaise. Yeah, I've made hollandaise in a blender on the fly. You know that one. Butter out of the microwave and just, hey, whatever it takes, right? Yeah. I'm a big fan of Anthony Bourdain and live by System D. Just get it out. Customers, as long as it's good, we're good. But yeah, so then I was working in tech, and that was fun. It was an experience. It was, logistics, learning a different side of the business, ordering on a bigger scale. We were feeding 26,000 people a week there. So it was an intense job. I mean, it wasn't just me. We had an army. And then, it's funny how on an idle, random Tuesday, your life will change. And I felt weird for a while, and I had like this lump. And, it kind of started bothering me. And, I just being a tough guy, chef, I didn't want to get checked. Finally, I went and got it checked out. And when you see a doctor on Friday morning or Friday afternoon, and he calls you back at 4:30 on that Friday because you just had a scan, it's not good. So Yeah, going home in the back of a lift, I'll never forget, there sitting next to my beautiful wife, and I got the call and found out I had cancer. And it changes your world. It changes your perspective. And so I went down that route, and I did, I wasn't really a cannabis guy yet, to be honest. And when I got sick, I still was just dabbling in it a little bit, but I hadn't really fully embraced it. And then I got cancer again. So the first time, radiation, chemo, the whole surgery, the whole bit sucked. Don't do it. I don't recommend cancer to anybody. You gotta
okay, that officially will be the understatement of today's interview.
Yeah.
I don't recommend
Well,
cancer
it's just
to
my
anybody.
joke. I try to keep it light. I try to be open and honest about what I went through, to share my experience, because I want more people to get checked. I want people to not be afraid to say they might be vulnerable, they might be sick. Because if you catch it early on, you'll be okay, and you can still live a great life. I'm still going to be here for a long time unless my wife decides to kill me finally. But other than that, I know she's listening. That's why I said that. My life changed, but I got really sick, and the traditional method of going through cancer was difficult. I mean, extremely hard on your body, very toxic, not fun. So, unfortunately, chemotherapy is a very specific drug, and the one that they gave me. I'm here. Sorry. The one they gave me was for the one kind of cancer, but it inflamed another cancer that was lying dormant. So here we go again, round 2. Second time around, I said, okay, I'm pulling out all the stops. Like, that sucked the first time. I don't want to be at that level again. So I started experimenting with cannabis. Edibles, things like that, learning, the internet at the time, this is pre-California, completely recreational legalization. We're still in the 215 era, which was, kind of the Wild West. And, I'm learning bits and things, and, as a chef, I can make stuff. So I kind of extracted oils and started doing things for the way I wanted it. And it helped. It helped a lot. And as I was coming out of cancer, I started to be like, okay, I got to find a job. So I started to look around, and a friend of a friend was like, hey, I'm working for this company. Their edibles department is a mess. We know you've got the chops to do this. Would you be interested in working in cannabis? And I had to think long and hard about it, to be honest with you, because it's a big jump, and at that time, it wasn't as cool as it is. Here we are 3 years later. I was like, am I going to blacklist myself? Am I going to come to cannabis and be blacklisted? I came to cannabis and I found my home. I'm not leaving. I'm staying. I'm going to keep pressing it forward. The mission at NUG is the normalization of cannabis, and I am 100% into that, because as a cancer survivor and as someone who went through it, it really works. And as I mentioned,
when did you come to NUG? So it's 2020 now. You've been with NUG a while.
2000. I joined NUG in 2007, end of 2017.
Okay.
Right as I was kind of coming out of all this stuff. And like I said, they gave a kid with cancer a chance to do what he loves and be creative. And, my job literally is to come up with the next cool thing for cannabis. I'm a big fan of the classics. I really love all the old school stuff, the old ways of doing things. I love, acid drop candies and things like that, cool old school stuff, and then taking them and making them with cannabis and making them new. And that's kind of where we're going with NUG, is just we want people to realize that it's just as normal to pop a couple of candies or eat one of my amazing chocolate bars or something as it is to have a martini or a 6-pack of beer or whatever your vice may be. The only thing is, I guarantee you that the cannabis is going to be healthier for you and won't hurt you like the alcohol will. Yeah, I drink too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm a saint here. But nevertheless, the mission behind cannabis and the verbiage is muddled out there, and it's a little lost on people because people are scared. It was really stigmatized for a while. But, man, since I've been here since 2017, I'm a believer. It's a real medicine. It's really helping people. And when's the last time a couple people that were stoned got in a fight, or robbed a store, I mean, they just order pizza, I mean, cannabis is something that people need to give a chance to. And then when you learn more about what we do, which I'm sure we'll get into here in a minute, Brian, my job is intense. Like, we are tracked. My recipes are all have to be right to the number,
right.
Like, everything has
I've been to your place, right? I mean, I was in your old place, and I was in your new place when it was getting built, and it's weird. My screen just got dark, and I got all verklempt about it. So I think you guys run. My experience with you guys is that you run a really tight ship in regards to sanitation, in regards to processes that maybe other people. It's it's not back alley chocolate making, right? I mean, you guys are filling out logs and you're doing temperature checks and you're doing all that stuff. And I mean, I think we get asked a lot about when we started. We've been involved in the cannabis industry longer than that. Like we've been selling equipment, doing stuff. And I think
we had your equipment when I took over. So yeah,
right. I mean, so we had a conversation early on with some of the early adopters, especially out in California, and about our opinion about that. And I think our opinion doesn't matter. I mean, you're in the enjoyment industry. I don't really care for hydrogenated vegetable fats in confection either, right? So it doesn't really matter what I think if you guys are abiding by the law and doing the things you're supposed to do, and you're producing a quality food product. I mean, that's what we want to see, or I want to see as a better treatment.
Yeah, and so the legalized industry, the people that are being compliant and leading the charge, us and a few others, that's amazing. The products we're pumping out are more tightly regulated than a pharmaceutical product. I have a smaller margin of error on percentages than any other product in the world. I have a 10% volume of error on cannabis. So what that means, if I say it's a 100 milligram bar, I can be 91 or 90 or 109. Anything outside of that, I fail, and the whole batch is destroyed. So when you've got 10,000 bars, that's a big deal if it's messed up. And they come in and it's not like they test one bar. I present the entire package, everything. It's packed. It's ready to go. It's literally ready to ship, ready to go to market. And they come in and they take random bars. So the size of the batch determines how many bars they take. And they literally have a computer system that says, okay, we're going to take some out of that case, and that case, and that case, and that case. They pull them all up. They homogenize them. They take a certain gram sample, and then they test that back milligrams per gram, compare it back to our label claim. So it's tight. I mean, it's not backyard, just mixing chocolate and kind of slamming it in a mold. It's intense. And then we have multiple flavors, multiple styles of chocolates, all kinds of different allergy concerns. Everything that everyone else is dealing with, plus cannabis. It's a delicate balancing act. It really is, but you got to love it. And it's the Wild West at times, and there's times that stuff happens that just makes you, makes your stomach curdle a little bit, like what happened to us in early June or late June or beginning of June. And there's stuff that just makes you, man, I'm going to keep going. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, you're sore, you're hurting, you moved all this chocolate, you did all this stuff the day before, and something just keeps you grinding, and that's because this is a real movement, and these are real things that we can do. We can really help people. So,
right. But in addition to that, I mean, you're a food guy. I mean, we're both food guys. I get ideas and concepts everywhere. I mean, there's part of it. I mean, your bio's got, you're the Willy Wonka of cannabis, and right. So there's something about making traditional confections work with cannabis, but there's got to be something about like coming up with that new idea and that new flavor. Like, where are some of those ideas? Oh, he's got something there.
Yeah, the world's first all-natural cannabis-infused otter pop. Yeah,
I don't know what
these are awesome. Well, have you ever had an otter pop?
No, what's an otter pop?
You've never had an otter pop?
I
really?
Probably have. I just don't know what it is.
Okay, like when you're a kid, you buy a little box of like little plastic baggies with juice in them, and you freeze them.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Freezy Pops.
Freezy Pops. Oh yeah, East Coast, West Coast Pops.
I'm an East Coast guy. Freezy Pops. There's a bunch in my freezer. There's a bunch for my daughter. She's 11. She likes the blue ones.
Perfect. So what I did is use all natural fresh fruit purees and concentrates and a new amazing technology called Nano Emulsion, which is taking the cannabinoid down to a very, very, very small particle, encapsulating it, suspending it in water, and then isonicating it so it stays there, and then I can suspend that into a liquid. That volumetric filler that I was filling the other day, that thing fills them, and we make, I don't know, about 1,500 pops an hour is what it makes. So, and we're cranking them out. Like we just turned in, I think we turned in close to 40,000 popsicles this week is what we needed to do to meet specs. So, yeah, the cannabis movement is something that people need to realize is for real, and there's some serious technology behind it. I don't know if you know how we infuse our chocolate, but we don't use weed butter. Weed butter is like so 1995. We use pure cannabis distillate. Luckily enough, we have our own extraction lab here at NUG.
Do you
And that
use
they do.
do you use full spectrum for the stuff you do, or do you go beyond full spectrum?
These guys scrub it down to where it's basically pure THC, just Delta 9.
Got it.
I'm not looking to add any flavors. I'm looking for the straight Delta 9 effect, however your cannabinoid receptor. So, because we know that in an edible, that the thing like a sativa or an indica or any of that kind of stuff doesn't really translate through an edible because of the way you absorb it. It goes through your system, your body breaks it down, it goes in your stomach, then it's got to go through your liver and then out into your blood system. There's a lot of things to stop the terpenes and the different effects from the different strains of cannabis from actually affecting your cannabinoid receptor when you take it as an edible. The exciting thing about some of the new technology that we're using, like this Nano Emulsion, is now this is available sublingually, which means basically as soon as it hits the inside of your mouth, you're absorbing it. So I've made edibles, an edible can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour sometimes to hit you. I got edibles that'll hit you in 10 minutes. So it's an effect right now. It's an effect that you can count on, and you can know if you're dosed properly. It's not like you ate part of a chocolate bar and then you have to wait and hope that it works out and you don't know when it's going to come, right? We've all been there. I do it for fun sometimes, just to be honest. But, I'm weird when it comes to that stuff now. These things are something, you can take one and you feel pretty good. There's also a big movement that's happened out here. People aren't just freezing them. They don't want to wait. You can take them and mix them into a drink. And they are like the world's greatest cocktail mixer. You just add a little bit of it's great, man. Yeah. So, but as far as our chocolate, what we use is our pure distillate that is produced in-house. The guys make it. It's extracted from our biomass, and it's literally, you can see.
I'm interrupting 1 second because there have been some questions rolling stuff on the bottom. So your wife is watching, and so she's not killing you today because she says she's proud of you. So, you haven't pissed her off yet. So we're doing okay. I'll see if I can ask a question later that you can get pissed off. But, for now, you're good. Hey, so if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Tyler, and Tyler works for NUG out in the Oakland Bay area and is in the cannabis confection industry. And he's talking like crazy nanotechnology and the chocolate at some point, because that's my ballywick. But in the meantime, I'll let you get back to what you're doing, because I asked you a question.
Well, I was transitioning back to I was just kind of giving a rundown of the different kind of medication sources that we use, and let people know that we're not just mixing brownies. We're not just taking a bunch of butter and throwing weed in it and then just kind of hoping it turns out. No, the cannabis industry has evolved so much past that. The technology is changing every day. We're able to isolate cannabinoids now. So we know that different cannabinoids, Delta 8, Delta 12, Delta 9, do different things with your cannabinoid receptor in your head. As we're able to separate those, we're able to introduce things into either edibles or a pill or something that you'll be able to enjoy for a very specific reason. So if it's for sleep, we can give you CBN, which is the one that makes you go sleep. Delta 8's anti-inflammatory, Delta 12's anti-nausea. There's a lot of different ways we can move the cannabinoids around. And also, the guys are getting where they're able to move that Delta 9 so you don't get high. It's pretty cool. There's some really amazing stuff on the horizon in cannabis. It's a real medicine. It has more technology, more time, and more really intelligent people. I work with a lot of smart people. There are some really smart people here, and it's cool because we push each other to get better every day. And the stuff, I can't wait to see what we've invented in a year. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but I imagine what we come up with is going to be pretty cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, for chocolate, let's talk about medicating chocolate. Is that where you want to go, or?
Let's go there.
I'm trying to get us back to chocolate. So I take, a bunch of chocolate comes in from Guittard. We use Guittard for all of our base chocolates. They are an amazing company based right out here in the Bay Area. Been here for 150 years. Ever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Before California was there.
Literally gold rush times. Literally. Yep. They support us. They take care of us. It's amazing. And we buy pallets of chocolate from them, so it's a win-win. But yeah, I want a big shout out to Vicky and Mr. Guittard over there. Thanks for hooking us up. We'll get it in 1,500 pounds and it'll be gone in a day. We'll get in 5,000 pounds and it's gone in a week. It just rolls, man. So chocolate comes in, base chocolate, depending on what it is. We blend some stuff. So sometimes we add different things to blend chocolates to different levels of cacao that we want or whatever. We have those awesome tanks from you guys. I let it do its thing overnight. The next day, I break the distillate down by warming it up slowly. The key with distillate is you don't want to get it too hot. If you get it past about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll start to transform cannabinoids. So stuff that could be, say, 96% Delta 9, which is the one that gets you high, could go down to, say, like 93 or 92%, and some of those other cannabinoids can transfer over to like CBN or CBD or CBG or one of these other ones. Why that's important is you're counting on your dosing at that being at like 96%, 97% Delta 9 cannabinoids. If it changes on you because of the method you use to extract it out, you can screw up your testing and fail a batch because they only count for the Delta 9. These other ones just go into the other cannabinoid category. And if you get, like I said, if you miss by outside that 10%, you can really mess it up. So you have to be very careful as you warm up your distillate. Yeah, it's not easy to do.
You love what you do. Dude, you love what you do. You are like a machine. Like you are, I mean, Tyler, we've met like once. I mean, in person, we've met once, right? I mean, and, you know, I got a nice tour, and, you know, I knew that you were the new guy on the Nug team because we worked with your predecessor, and, you know, you had some challenges. So we spent some time on the phone and all that stuff. But I don't know that I knew you're quite as passionate about what you do as you are. You know, I mean, like, there's all this stuff, there's all these people rolling like questions about, you know, like, why are people as transparent as you? And like, how do you, you know, like, and you know, whatever, that's your call. But I mean, like, I think if nothing else is coming out of this, like, you love who you work for, and you love what you do.
Yeah, this is my family, this is my home, and we will defend it. Like, we got absolutely rocked, and it's been brutal. And I've had a lot of really good friends that unfortunately had to get furloughed and laid off because of what happened. But I can change that. I can do something about that. I got to work a little harder. I got to grind a little bit more. My job role has expanded by 8 times, maybe. I don't even know. You know, we had to lay off 153 people, and it was really a brutal thing. But I want to be clear that what happened was not because of the Black Lives Matter movement. What happened was because a separate group of people took advantage of the attention that was being paid to that.
Let's rewind, because you've told me the story. Like, okay, I mean, okay, so all the science is going on, and you guys are like really figuring out. You guys have spent a lot of time figuring out how to get like the most premium product into the best chocolate you possibly can. Okay, so that's me putting a little bookmark on that story. So, but COVID, you're rolling through COVID. It's hard, but you guys are busy, right? I mean, COVID,
believe it or not, we were doing good. COVID, because everyone's stressed out at home, might as well have some weed. So we sell weed, so it was a win-win.
Okay. So COVID, you're okay. Everybody's still working through COVID.
Yeah.
You guys have moved to this new facility in the last year?
Well, I moved into our main headquarters. They built me out a kitchen in our massive big headquarters. I just needed more room.
Right. So you're in Oakland, and you moved. You consolidated everything, from my understanding, right? You're growing, you're extracting, you're making edibles, vapes, everything in one facility there in Oakland.
Yep, right? Absolutely. Yep. Well,
okay,
two facilities, yes.
Okay, but you're the facility that I came to visit now.
No, I'm in a big. I don't think you've been to this one. I'm at the.
No, you took me on the tour.
Okay,
they had it
perfect.
You showed me the empty space. Like
the empty space is now full of your
room. Right. That's good. And then okay, so you're there. You guys are doing okay with COVID. Nobody's getting sick. Like your best practices. You're protecting people. All that jazz.
Isolating our business units inside of our business units. You know, we're in my world, PPE and masks are every day, like no big deal. But some of the other people, it took some time to evolve to. But yeah, I mean, we were COVID-wise as far as safety, and I mean, we couldn't get hand sanitizer, so I made it. No big deal, right? Whatever. We were doing okay. And then one fateful weekend, it wasn't just our production facilities that got hit. They hit our retail outlets too. So we had 5 different locations basically get annihilated in one night. $5.5 million in losses
during the riots in Oakland.
During the riots in Oakland, yeah. Well, they hit our store in Sacramento too. They wiped out San Leandro, Sacramento. They hit our production facilities here, and it was brutal. We lost 880 pounds of dried flour. Out of my shop alone, I lost 11,000 bags of candy, 8,000 of the bags of popsicles. About 14,000 chocolate bars. I mean, we were gift wrapped, and we had it in bins ready to ship. It was all ready. So it was like the week's production towards the end of the week, ready to go to testing on Monday, right? And we literally just gift wrapped it. What are you gonna do? I mean, who knew? I mean, you don't think like that, right? And we have security, we have cameras, but there were hundreds of them. It wasn't like 5. There were hundreds, and these people were prepared. They came with bolt cutters and pry bars and sledgehammers, and then the second night after we fixed everything and they came back, they stole a U-Haul truck and drove it through the fence and then crashed into the wall to get inside again. I mean, it was just brutal, absolutely brutal. But we're persevering. We're still here. 2 months later, we're back to number 11. Not bad. You know, we were top 5, but hey, being number 11 and the largest, largest cannabis company or market in the world is pretty awesome. You know, we're hanging in there. Nug's not going anywhere because of the grit and the heart of the people who work here. We're not going anywhere. It's been brutal, but we're still here. We're still having fun. We're still smiling. We're still pumping out chocolate, great concentrates, vape pens. We're still here. We're gonna be okay. It's gonna be a little road back, but I have a feeling the future's bright. We're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man, right? I mean, I don't know. I think we spent a lot of time in the last 6 months talking to all sorts of people all over the country, actually all over the world now. And, you know, it's been a hard time for the world, man. Like, it just has. Like, whether that's COVID related or just regular business problems related or rioting related, you know, like, I've had the opportunity to talk to lots of people, and I think that kind of attitude, it's like, look, we got to get to the other side of whatever this mess is, and we've got to be participants in making that better. You know, like I got the opportunity to talk to a couple of cats here recently that, you know, kind of get into the Black Lives Movement conversation, like, that are African American chocolatiers in the United States. I've talked to people whose business have been destroyed by COVID, right? And I don't want to lump all that together, right? I don't want to lump somebody's struggles with somebody else's struggles, because I think that's really disingenuous. So your struggles are not the same as somebody else's, right? But what I'm taking away from it, and now I'm going to cry because you were about to cry a minute ago, is that if we have passion for what we do, like passion, like the passion that you were talking about earlier, that, like, I reined in a little bit, right? Then there's hope that things are going to be better on the other side for that person, that individual, and all of us as that global family thing. And that sounds a little hokey saying it.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But what we have to do, no matter what the struggles that we're encountering are, we have to look at them in the eye. We have to acknowledge them, and we have to make a decision that we're not going to let them define us as individuals and then us as a society.
Yep, 100%.
Right? And, like, you know, I was talking to this chocolatier from Harlem, and, you know, Jess is this unbelievable person and, you know, is as passionate about chocolate as you are, right? And, you know, that's just you got to get there, right? You got to decide that you want to make the world a better place.
There, can you hear me?
Yeah, was your phone done? Well, kind of.
I don't know what happened.
No.
All of a sudden I was talking and you weren't there anymore.
Well, I was talking, I was waxing. I went off on this tirade about, you know, like, trying to be cool in our world, and, you know, you decided you were tired of it.
We were woosawing and all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so let's light this up. So I had my chance to rant. You're cool. Back. You're all pixelated from where I'm sitting, but that's okay. I can still hear you.
It looks good for me.
All right, cool. Well, that's because it's your device, man. Anyway, so you take this trip across North America with your wife.
Yep.
With some money in the pocket to, like, discover food in America. And I didn't know this story. So that's cool. Like, where'd you start?
We started in California, up in Northern California, and went to Vegas, and then did, like, Route 66 through Southern, through Arizona, New Mexico. I mean, we hit awesome places like the Big Texan in Amarillo, Texas, where they have the steak that if it's that big, if you can eat it, it's free. I didn't try, but someone did while we were there. It was hilarious. To some amazing barbecue places in Arkansas, Memphis, some really cool places coming back like Wyoming, and then all the, Louisville, Kentucky, North Carolina. I mean, there's just so many amazing little hole in the walls in this country.
One food story. Give me one meal. Give me one
Oh,
meal from the
okay.
trip.
So we went to this place called the Whole Hog. It's in Arkansas, and they've been world champion barbecue people, and barbecue's always been kind of a passion of mine, side thing I like to do. And they said the best barbecue ever. So we bought, I don't know how much stuff. We bought all this stuff, so much stuff. And we literally sat there for like 2 hours and ate it all. It was the most incredible, well done barbecue. And when I looked at it, I looked kind of out back, I looked where they were cooking, and I'm like, wow, this wouldn't fly health department wise in California. But the food was phenomenal. And as I travel the world, I'm a big like meat out of some sort of barrel burning on the side of the road kind of guy anyway. So it works for me. And Whole Hog, Arkansas, amazing. The Poor Boy sandwich in Memphis was pretty darn good. Actually, there was a place in New Mexico. We just happened to pull off. Yeah, we just happened to pull off the road and just we're looking for lunch. And shut up. Stop calling me. We just pulled in this guy. He's like the chef, the waiter, the busser, the whatever, serving lunch. He's got like 3 things on the menu, and when you order it, he goes out to the garden and like picks what he needs for that order. That was like, wow, how cool is that? Yeah. So I mean, those are just sort of snippets of food stories for me. I mean, I could go on. I mean, on and on. But
barbecue. You had me at barbecue. I'm a barbecue guy.
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't matter like where. Like, I took a class at Pre-Gel, right, which is in North Carolina. And like the guys that I was with were tired of me because every night I'm like, this is where we're going for barbecue tonight. And they're like, do you have to eat barbecue one more time? I'm like, yeah, we do. We really do. I'm sorry, but that's the choice. When in Rome, and I have a smoker in my backyard. I have my own little smoker, and
nice.
I'm a hardwood guy, but
yeah, cool. Stick smokers are the best, man.
Yeah, like I'm pre-confection, I did barbecue. That was like, I worked in restaurants, and my hot food side, the last place, it was like 10 years of barbecue. It's like,
nice.
I think if you cut me, I'd have a smoke ring. Like if you were to cut me, like I'd actually have a smoke ring.
Nice. So, yeah, I actually was for one summer I taught on the weekends at the barbecue school here in the Bay Area. That was really fun. But 7 days a week was a lot. But yeah, it was barbecue's just a labor of love. It's like chocolate. If you can't really do it fast, it has to be done right. It has to be done at the right temperatures. You've got to follow the procedures. There really aren't any shortcuts. And if you do try to do something, you'll see it in the quality of your product. If your molds aren't the right temperature, if you got too much humidity in the room, if that, I mean, there's a million things that can mess you up. So, but yeah, barbecue is it's the only real true American thing, really. I mean, it's kind of like our one thing that we do, really. Yeah. There are other barbecue styles in other countries and other stuff, but I would say as far as American cuisine, that might be the one thing that's really us.
Yeah, I still like, I'm a chocolate guy. Like, that's how I'm known and all that stuff. And like, I write recipes and I do all that stuff. But like, honest to God, like I get, I become independently wealthy somehow, right? And like, I'm going to get my Winnebago, which I don't have. Somebody else is going to drive the Winnebago for me, by the way, when I'm independently wealthy. And we're going to go from barbecue restaurant to barbecue restaurant, and I'm just going to write a book. Like, that's like my dream, right? They're like, and then along the way, I'm going to stop at every minor league baseball stadium I can find. Like, that's it.
Oh, okay.
That's my goal.
I like that.
Because
I wanted to see a ball game in every stadium sometime. That would be amazing. Like one summer, just to try.
What's crazy is that the Blue Jays are not allowed to play in Canada. So they're going to be playing in Buffalo this summer because we're their farm team, but you're not allowed to go.
Yeah, I know.
So I think I'm going to drive by a couple times, like, slow roll past the stadium and kind of look in. There's a couple places you can kind of see from the highway. You can see into the stadium. That's my plan for the, all right. So this is a great question. I don't usually listen to people's questions, but there's a great question on the board. And that one is your best chocolate experience. I stumped it.
I think it would have to be winning my first Cannabis Cup. Not really knowing what I'm doing. I mean, guys like you, Michael Ricuti, huge help out here. You guys kind of gave me what you could to the new guy that you're like, okay, who's this guy? And we just went off running, and we got that first win back in 2018, I think it was, and it was a moment like, okay, maybe really I can do this. Like, hey, we're doing something here. We got a nice shiny gold toy. So that was a really big thing. Getting best chocolate experience for me was taking my department from where we were making everything by hand with the vibration tray on that top X, setting all those molds, to seeing that 275 and that 800-pound tank roll in, needing more tanks and have to go faster, and knowing that my direction had got us there. We'd increased sales to that point. We'd increased efficiencies to that point. We needed more automation, and that was a huge moment, was to get the Nug Edibles department from kind of an afterthought. Oh yeah, they do amazing this and that, and then, oh no, they do edibles. Now it's they do amazing this, and amazing edibles. So we're climbing the ladder there. So I'm really excited about that. So I would have to say some of those first early on experiences were just kind of milestones for us. Now it's knowing when I can look at a tank of chocolate if it's where I want it, if it's ready to go. If it's not quite tempered right, or I don't feel the temperature's right, or something, I don't feel the right include. I don't know. I'm real picky. So now it's just having the experience and the knowledge to feel comfortable with chocolate. I wouldn't say that I am good at it yet, because I think that you can always get better. And I think I really look up to some of you guys that have been doing this a long time. So a lot of respect for the guys that came in front of me and that are helping me. But yeah, my number one chocolate thing right now, I think, would be that we're still pumping it out, and that we're still here, and we're growing, and my chocolate sales are moving up every month. We have a fantastic sales team and a big drive behind it. We just rebranded, so all of my chocolate's going to look really sexy now. Really excited about that. Yeah, I mean, the future's bright for us when it comes to chocolate and some of the innovation stuff we're doing. So yeah, my number one chocolate, I'm kind of all over the place right now. I'm just all misty-eyed. My number one chocolate experience would just be the fact that, it's growing, and it's growing because of the passion, and, shit. Sometimes I'm here till 7, 8 o'clock at night fixing a machine, on the phone with somebody, Elliot is kind enough to let me video chat with him, because, our time difference makes it difficult sometimes, because it seems like my stuff always goes down if there is an issue at like 2:01, which is 5:01 for you, and you guys are gone, and it's always something simple. It's always something that I should know. But yeah, I think just feeling more comfortable, and that's allowing me to grow and really start to hone in on my craft and become a real chocolatier. That's kind of an all-in-one answer. So
where do you think the industry is going for you? Like, I usually ask the people, like, where's the chocolate industry going? But where do you think the cannabis chocolate industry is going to go next?
I think the catalyst for the major push and explosion will be federal decriminalization and legalization at a statewide level across everybody.
But what will that actually mean for the food? Like, does it mean that it'll be?
Well, it's going to bring more attention to it. So by tearing down those barriers, by allowing it to be federally legal, it's going to open up a lot more banking sources, and a lot more larger companies are going to be able to invest or get into the market, which is going to bring a lot more research and a lot more talent and a lot more automation to this world. And then they're going to need guys like us that can tell them, the certain parts that they don't know. So I think that the federal legalization could just cause an amazing amount of cool stuff. I have a hard time believing that, the big guy, Nestle's and the Marses out there aren't already getting ready for this. I have a feeling that they're probably ready to rock. So I think that would be the next big step. As far as in California, the legal market in California is the little brother to the black market here. And everybody's like, well, why is that? Well, there's a lot of reasons why you can say currently, the taxes, the regulations, stuff. But if you got to remember that California originally passed Prop 215 in 1996. So the black market, that stuff has had a 20-year run. before we even came around.
Right.
So those of us that moved into the legal cannabis world came from that world, but a lot of people there were like, well, why would I change when there's, you know, nobody's going to come after me and I'm going to make a lot of money and not pay taxes. And so those are people that we unfortunately are competing against on a daily basis. They have much lower overhead. They don't pay taxes. They all the advantages that you could rattle off right there, right? But slowly but surely, you know, we're chipping away. I think the quality, the consistency, the safety, the knowledge that you can count on one of our products is something that will win out in the end. And then just education. I've had my own friends ask me, hey, can I get your chocolate bars from John? And I'm like, who's John? They're like, oh, John's my weed guy. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. But it's just people don't know because they've been getting weed from John on a sort of legal basis for 20 years, you know? So I get it. But at the same time, it's just education, informing people and then just getting more people in the know. That's where the legal market's going to move forward. But until we can get some of these regulations and some of the stuff straightened out and make it a little easier, it's going to be a long road because it inhibits growth. It inhibits people from able to function on a normal ability. It's tough. The legal market is not easy. It is not easy.
Yeah, that's definitely what we hear too. I mean, we work with a lot of folks that are all over the country, you know, and you know, the regulations are huge and the dollar figures are huge and the compliance issues are huge. And that's not me saying they should or shouldn't be. It's the way that it is.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
And it's not consistent, right? I mean, so I think the real rub is that if you are in one of the, you know, if you are in California or Massachusetts, for example, there is, you know, the document is 10,000 pages long, right? And if you're in some other states, Arkansas being one, the document is 5 pages long, right? I mean, seriously, it's like 5 pages long.
Right. And the answer's in the middle, I believe. Really, it is.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, so not cannabis question. Last question I'm going to ask because we're wrapping up on time. And I ask this question to everybody. You're cruising home from a 13-hour day, and you realize you need to put gas in the car, so you pull into the convenience mart to put gas in the car. You walk in to buy a bottle of water. On the way to the register, you're in the mass market confection and chocolate aisle. You decide you're buying one item. What item are you buying?
Whatchamacallit.
What do you call it?
A whatchamacallit.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke. It was the old ads, man. I'm probably older than you. You don't remember those. It's like, whatchamacallit? What do you call it?
I've loved that chocolate bar since I was a kid, and if I was going to buy one chocolate, that would probably be it.
All right. Well, I tell everybody I'm a Kit Kat guy.
Okay. Yeah, I could get behind Kit Kat.
But I'm cool with the whatchamacallit. You are the first person to answer whatchamacallit.
Well, also, yeah, I mean, I'm honest. I would straight up eat it at whatchamacallit. You got one? I love it.
I'll see if we can find some. I'll call some of the guys over at Hershey and see if we can get some shipped to you, like, you know, a whole case or something.
Yeah, I should get a shout out for that. You know, they got to pay me off.
All right, so here's your plug opportunity. You can plug whatever you want. You got like a minute and a half if you need to go that long. Right. So you can plug your Instagram page, your personal Instagram page, whatever you want.
Well, I'm logged in through the Nug Instagram page. Luckily, we were able to utilize that, so I'm able to speak to all our people at Nug. And I would just say I would plug Nug as a whole. Nug as a family and Nug as a passion. We are trying our damnedest at every point to get better every day. We are an industry leader, but we are not going to rest on our laurels. We are going to keep pushing. I would say for me, my brand new chocolate, really sexy boxes. Obviously, the Nug Pops, can't go wrong with those. Our live resin vape carts. If you're a vape pen fan at all and you can get your hands on one of our Nug vape carts, they are incredible. But basically, you can count on anything that says Nug on the side, I promise. If you can eat it, I made it, so you can blame me if you don't like it. But if you can smoke it or you can drink it or whatever, and it says Nug, you're going to be okay.
Cool. All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Brian.
Hey, so good luck with the revamp and all that stuff. And
we're all right. We're hanging in there. We're going to be just fine.
If you need me next week, I'm on vacation. So don't call me. I won't answer.
I won't call you.
Call
I
Elliot.
do want to talk to you about some of that new machinery down the road, though. Some of that stuff looks pretty interesting.
Dude, the moment that we can open, you should come and visit.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're not allowed in New York right now. Sorry, you're not allowed.
No,
41
I'm not allowed
states,
to leave my
not allowed.
kitchen, man. I just stay in the kitchen. So.
All right. Peace, bro. Thanks a bunch.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thanks.